should talk about G2, or we should talk about, I mean, I guess we can start with G2. We could talk about T1 and RNG. These are the teams that are worth, I think, having the conversation about right now. Where do you want to start?
I mean, the thing with G2 is, as you say, as it stands right now, when you factor in the ping element, the fact that they're not there, the fact that I already thought RNG was a team that had like certain weaknesses, I thought certain strengths actually specifically were against Chinese teams. Dude, that's the one angle I'm now on, is like, the more I watch them, look, they haven't played each other yet, so this could all be fake hype. I'm just trying to find because I know probably RNG versus T1 isn't the match. Now I'm trying to make it G2 RNG. That's what I'm trying to prep for in my mind. So what I'm trying to do is shadow box, like, and obviously at the moment, by the way, it's looking great. There's even an interesting matchup, right? Zhao, who isn't the like smash the whole game mid lane, it depends on certain picks. To be fair, some of his picks are in the meta. Caps has been fucking unreal like that. All of a sudden, if you look at how G2 played in the first phase, mate, almost every player had like mad carry games. Like, they even took turns. Like, people were like, Broken Blade had some games. They had some mega games. So like, that's the matchup I'm looking for. So I think G2's actually looked even better than expected. They actually looked. I know they're not playing the same competition as LEC, but it looks like in a different meta. Like, they're the team where when I watch them, you almost wouldn't even know they're on ping, mate. Some of the Caps players just look like normal players, mate.
And we should talk about some of the Caps statistics because they're pretty amazing. First off, he's played 8 different champions in 8 games. Second off, he has the highest damage per minute of any mid laner at 592. Next is Xiaohu at 573. And then there's a huge drop off for Faker to 472. So, Caps and Xiaohu are well above everybody else. He's the top mid laner in terms of damage percentage on his team outside of Kissy from Order, which, like, we're not going to include Australian stats because why would we? There's too many other problems there to dissect them all. But he's been extremely good. And it's not like he's been playing all high damage champion. He has a game of Galio. He has a game of Twisted Fates. So those might be depressing his numbers somewhat. But he's also pulling off, like, he pulled off the surprise Anivia in the first game of the series against EG, which I think was, it shows a lot of Jojo Pion's limitation, where he's probably, he's never played against that champion in a professional context before. So having to deal with that when you are playing very aggressively and very forward in lane and having to deal with the wall was problematic for him.
There's another thing that sucks about being such a rookie, Monte, because remember, he isn't just even a rookie. He's like a rookie to the game of League of Legends. Like, dude, if I hear that and I'm like a super veteran mid laner, yeah, I'm pulling out the bullshit. I'm going with like an old school Anivia. I'll pull out all sorts of shit you've never played in your life before. Exactly.
Guess what? I think Anivia was a release champion in this game.
Probably. I mean, it has been reworked, to be fair, like season 6 or whatever it was, but yeah, true.
But the core mechanics are still pretty much the same as they were on release. So to put this in context, guys, League of Legends came out in 2009, which means Anivia was released when JoJo was 5. He was 5 years old.
He was barely out of an egg himself.
Exactly.
There you go.
So yeah, I think, a player like Caps, or a more veteran player who has been seeing what this champion can do on the scene for many years. And well, a lot of kind of the old way of playing is no longer relevant. Sometimes the veterancy and having been around for such a long time means that you understand that sometimes when the meta cycles back around in a certain way, or when a certain champion is picked again, not to say it's Ryze, because Ryze was very, very, very different back when Anivia versus Ryze would have happened when Anivia was at its peak, because Ryze has been reworked like 12 times since then. But you sometimes remember like certain abilities that these champions have, or like annoying wall placements that many new players may not know about in terms of how you control chokes or play on the map. And it's a surprise factor. And that's a big advantage the Caps had, and I think they ran with it.
And let's be real, even if Jojo randomly got a couple of games against an Anivia in his life in solo queue, that wasn't against Caps. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. He was playing against fucking bombfuck NA player, wasn't he? So I wouldn't worry about that. It didn't help, believe it or not.
So yeah, I think their Caps is really flexing in terms of his champion pool. He's clearly feeling great. I mean, some of his plays on Silas and Yasuo were just disgusting. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So he really seems like he's on form right now. It looks like the old like G2 caps.
That's why, dude, you know when they lost the first series against Fnatic in the upper bracket, the playoffs, and I said that tweet where I was like, what happened to Caps? And then all those people like Gilius were coming in like, what do you mean he played a very good series? It's like, bro, just the champion alone tells you if you've got the real Caps or not. The Caps that's on like Oriana's, like, he's all right. The Caps that's on Silas, that's what I signed up for. That's what I'm here for that. That's what I want to see. Also, as a random other aside, the only thing I have to say about Order, because we're not going to mention them otherwise, we have to pretend they were in the tournament, right, is if I would like it if their owner was like a Reggie-esque character who just didn't care about anyone's feelings, and if he had to fire the whole team and replace it, he just made them watch that classic scene in the denouement, you'll never understand that word, plebs, of the movie And Justice for All, and they just, Al Pacino goes around the room saying, you're out of order, you're out of order, you're out of order, you're out of order, and then they're all fired. I'd cut the movie off. What I wouldn't do, though, is pay people under the rate legally they're required to be paid as a contractor, which legally I shouldn't even potentially have them as a contractor in a hypothetical world where Original did that. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.